Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. This is Daytona on the Sega Saturn. Now, I first came across this game actually will have been when the Sega Saturn was launched. I saw this as a rolling demo. I wasn't actually in a video game store at the time. I was in like a department chain store. I can't remember where it was now. It may have been something like Debenhams. That was a department store in the UK, and it had its own video game department. Now, it was kind of strange because I was actually getting something, if I remember correctly at the time, I think I was buying something for my Amiga 1200, because they used to have quite a decent selection of Amiga 1200 games in there, and I heard this racket going on. Somebody sort of semi-warbling, screaming Daytona, and I thought, what in the hell is this? And I went over to it, and it was basically this game in its rolling demo on the Sega Saturn, which had only just come out at the time. And I remember being mightily impressed by it. I mean, I'd not seen graphics as good as this on a computer or console at the time, because you have to remember that the Sega Saturn actually predated the PlayStation when it was released in the UK, and so this was the first time I'd actually seen these type of graphics, and I was blown away. I mean, looking back now, it's very easy to pick out the faults, and there were faults at the time. As you can see, there's a lot of drawing or popping in terms of the actual detail. The draw distance is very, very limited. And what's interesting is that Sega actually went back and redid this. I will be popping up a video for that soon. They re-released Daytona. I think they called it Circuit Edition or Championship Edition. I think it was Circuit Edition. They put more tracks in there, more different cars, and they also sort of addressed the draw distance problem as well. I mean, as you can see, it is quite dramatic. A lot of the problems with early games on these 32-bit consoles was popping. You know, it happened quite a lot on PlayStation games as well, and it was basically developers trying to get to grips with this new hardware. It was the hardware on the PlayStation was easier to get to grips to than it was on the Sega Saturn, and it kind of shows. That said, it doesn't stop this being a terrific game. I mean, back then it was as close to the arcade as you were ever going to get, and typical to Sega type games, it is very, very difficult. It's very, very challenging. Contrary to how my driving looks on here, the car does handle quite well. I mean, it was improved upon, as I say, in the re-release version of Daytona on the Saturn. They did go back and they made quite a number of tweaks and so on and so forth. But if you'd have got a Saturn and got this game, I think you would have been very, very impressed by it. Certainly I was stood there watching it. I mean, not as impressed as I was when I saw Wipeout on the PlayStation running, and I guess it was because Wipeout visually at the time was just an astounding game, and also musically as well, sound wise, it was an astounding game. This was a little bit more conventional. You know, Wipeout was obviously a futuristic racer, and although there'd been F-Zero on the Super Nintendo, Wipeout was just like one step beyond anything else that I'd seen. Whereas Daytona was like, well, yeah, I mean, you know, I have seen these type of games in the arcade. You know, I've seen Ridge Racer and stuff like that in the arcade. So, although it was very impressive, it didn't impress me as much as what seeing Wipeout did. But that's not to say that this isn't a good game. It is a very, very good game. I mean, it's Daytona. It's one of the purest arcade experiences that you could ever hope to imagine having. And playing it again on the Saturn, I know I am sort of taken back to that period of time where these games were par for the course, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy going back and I enjoy playing it. I mean, it is well worth checking out. Don't go back expecting to get some sort of, don't go back and expect to be blown away. I mean, that's not the point of going back and playing these retro games. It's to see whether or not you get the same, feeling and joy of encountering these games again as you did when you first had them. And when I got this and started playing it, it did take me back to the beginning of that sort of 32-bit home console era. Kind of waffling a bit now, but I don't care. I enjoy playing it. It is a very, very good game. It's well worth checking out. I know it's available on Xbox Live and I think on the PlayStation Network, but it's always worth checking it out on the real deal hardware. So thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for more to come.